friends, I am Rajni Sabharwal and this is my YouTube channel for the people who wants to have in-depth knowledge about GST. So, are you guys one of them? Then what are you waiting for? Subscribe this channel and have everything about GST. So, let's begin with some constitutional background about goods and service tax. Why this act was introduced, when this was introduced and how it was introduced. So we will discuss about some constitutional background on GST. So in 2016, the Constitution 122nd Amendment Bill was passed by Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. And in September 2016, it was constituted as Constitution 101 Amendment Act 2016. So guys, here are some key features about goods and service tax. So first thing which we have to keep in mind that this act is covered under the concurrent list of the Constitution. The concurrent list gives the joint power to center and state government to levy some kind of tax. So this GST is covered under concurrent jurisdiction and its levy and collection is in hands of both centers and states. Here, centers can levy and collect goods and service tax on the supply in the course of interstate trade or commerce, including imports. So this thing is covered under Article 269A. Another important feature about goods and service tax is that the compensation for loss of revenue to states for 5 years was also introduced under Clause 19. Then the very most important thing is list of supplies which are still not covered under goods and service tax. So one of them is petroleum, high-speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation terminal fuel, and the levy of GST on such supplies would be made at some later date. So moving forward to the definition of goods and service tax which is provided under the Constitution. So guys, as per Article 366(12)(a), goods and service tax means any tax on supply of goods or services except taxes on the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. That means GST is applicable on each and every supply of goods and service, but it is not applicable on the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. That means alcoholic liquor for human consumption is outside the purview of GST, outside the levy of GST under the Constitution. So whenever you guys go and consume some liquor, so always keep in mind there should not be any GST on such sale. Yeah, but there are some other state taxes like VAT which is applicable on alcoholic liquor which you guys have to pay. So moving forward to the definition of goods. What do we mean by goods? What is the definition given under the Constitution for goods? So as per the Constitution, goods includes all materials, commodities and articles. That means any kind of material, any kind of commodity and article is called goods as per the Constitution. So this definition is not introduced in the Amendment Act. It was already there in the earlier Constitution of India. Now moving forward to the definition of service, which says anything other than goods. Guys, please focus. Anything other than goods is called service. That means anything, any activity which is not good is called service. Say for example, you are running a restaurant, you are making some transaction for supply of some other kind of service like hotel services and e-commerce services or agency services. If you are a commission agent, whatever you are doing, anything you are doing which is not considered as goods will be considered as a service. So guys, that was the constitutional background about goods and service tax. So why there was a need of goods and service tax? Why this act was introduced? What was what were the limitations in the earlier regime which gave the reason to the government to reconsider, to think about a new act? So guys, basically there was different kinds of taxes in the earlier regime before GST. Service tax, central excise tax. Central excise tax was applicable on manufacturing of goods, and service tax was applicable on the activities or services performed by a person. So these taxes were different and were governed by different kind of acts. And there was no set off between these taxes paid by one person. Another point, another limitation was double taxation. There was a dual taxation on the commodities, on the services, and that's why this goods and service tax was introduced. This is called one tax, one nation, one tax. So guys, the GST was required to remove the double taxation, to remove the limitation of set off from one act to another. That was the reason the government introduced goods and service tax. So now, I think this is enough for today, and we will have another discussion about the types of goods and service tax, how it works, and what kind of taxes are there in the GST. So guys, wait for my next video and please subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.